host Shay, and I'm back with another episode of Shay's Relationship Files. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and also comment down below. How is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's morning going okay so far while you're getting ready either for work, family activities, anything. I hope everyone's being safe today, and I hope everyone's doing good this morning. So, today, guys, we're going to talk about a specific subject, and the article we're going to discuss today is entitled, If These 10 Phrases That You Know You're Dealing with an Emotional Manipulator. Now, the first thing you wonder, like, what is an emotional manipulator? So, we're going to get into it and talk about it. So, an emotional manipulation is all about control and power. It often involves subtle tactics that can leave you feeling confused and disoriented, which is kind of the whole point. If you find that someone uses these statements often to discredit and undermine you, do yourself a favor and get away quickly. So, we're going to get into these phrases that most people who are emotional manipulators will say and why they would use these phrases. So, the first one, when a person says, "You're too sensitive." This one's a classic. When someone tells you you're too sensitive, what they're really doing is deflecting blame and invalidating your feelings. It's a way to make you question your own emotions and reactions. Instead of addressing the issue or acknowledging your feelings, they're turning it back on you. It's a red flag because it undermines your right to feel upset or hurt. Remember, your emotions are valid. No one else gets to dictate how you should or shouldn't feel. If someone consistently accuses you of being too sensitive, they're not respecting your emotional experience. It's a manipulative tactic, plain and simple. And I've actually experienced where people in my life have called me too sensitive just because they didn't want to take account for what they did or said to me. And like I kind of talked about this in a prior episode where I said sometimes in any relationship, sometimes you're going to have to apologize, even if you necessarily don't understand why the person may be upset at you or why the person is mad at you. But even it doesn't necessarily matter. Like it said in this first phrase, your feelings are valid. Everyone's feeling is valid. So if you feel upset and frustrated over something, that person, if they really care about you, they would apologize, even if they don't understand why you're upset. The second phrase is, "You're just overreacting." When someone tells you you're overreacting, they're trying to minimize your response and control the situation. It's a way of saying that your feelings aren't warranted or appropriate. This phrase is often used to gaslight you into believing that your reaction is not only wrong, but also irrational. So sometimes people that do try to emotionally manipulate you will say you're overreacting to a situation, but you technically having a right reaction. Now, sometimes we may sometimes get upset at something that we think about later, and that's why you shouldn't react too quickly to things right when it happens, because sometimes your anger can speak more so than your common sense at that moment. So we do always want to give ourselves grace and give ourselves a moment to breathe, calm down, really think about what occurred. But at the same time, that's still not overreacting just because you got upset if somebody really did something really mean to you or hurt your feelings. The third phrase, oh, before I get into the third phrase, they were also saying in regards to overreacting, when somebody tells you're overreacting a lot, it's a form of emotional manipulation because it invalidates your feelings and makes you doubt your own judgment. If someone is frequently telling you that you're overreacting, it's a sign that they're trying to manipulate your perception of reality to suit their narrative. So basically, it's almost in layman's terms making you seem like you the stupid one when you're not. The third phrase, or is it the fourth phrase? Hold on a second, because I think I might have skipped one. Oh wait, three. I want a partner attract love with power of your mind. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That was something else that just popped up for no reason. Oh, here it is, number 4. I was just joking. This phrase is often used as a cover when someone says something hurtful or offensive. By framing their words as a joke, they shift the blame onto you for not taking it the right way. It's a tactic to make you feel like you're the problem for not understanding their humor. This manipulation tactic is particularly insidious because it not only invalidates your feelings, but also puts you on the defensive. It's a way of avoiding responsibility for their words and actions. If someone consistently hurts you and then claims they were just joking, they're using humor as a tool for manipulation. And it's times I personally, and I can admit to this, that I had when I didn't want to be completely, totally honest when I was telling someone how I felt about something. I would hide it behind a joke, saying, oh, I was just joking, but I really wasn't. I really felt the way I said, but I would say it's joking so I can kind of get out of the kitchen, so to speak. But I have done better on being more sharing how I feel and being okay with how I feel, even if the person may not understand why I'm feeling like that. And 5, where another phrase, it says, you're so lucky to have me. This phrase is a huge red flag. It's designed to make you feel grateful for their presence in life. Regardless of how they're actually treating you, it's a way of asserting control and creating a power imbalance in the relationship. When someone uses this line, they're implying that you couldn't do better and you should put up with whatever they dish out. Now, I've had many people like this in my life where they would make it seem like, oh, without me, you wouldn't be doing this. Without me, you wouldn't be doing that. And I'm like, the only person that I give credit to for anything I accomplish in life is our creator that created everything. So that's who I give my credit to. No human being gave me anything. So of course I'm never gonna take somebody just telling you, oh yeah, if it wasn't for me, this, that, and the third. Because if it wasn't for you, I'd still be successful. So you never want to take that as, oh, I have to take whatever this person's doing. Rather, it's not always gonna have to be in a marriage. It could be friends that make you feel like, oh, if we wasn't friends, you wouldn't have this, you wouldn't have that. And that's not a good person to be around in any form that continues to make it seem like, oh, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have this, that, and the third. The next phrase, you're the only one who understands me. This might sound flattering at first, but it's a manipulation tactic. By saying you're the only one who gets them, they're isolating you from others and creating a sense of specialness. That can be hard to break away from. It's an emotional blackmail. They use this line to make you feel responsible for their emotional well-being. Okay, this is something also I've experienced. I know many of us have, where a person doesn't allow you to broaden or be around others because they kind of hope they know you care about them and you love them. So because they know that, they use that emotional line to reel you or make you feel guilty if you have to leave and go to work. If you have to leave and go help another friend or family, they reel you back in with the guilt, like, man, you could stay a little longer, or you could, or why you gotta do this. Or sometimes I've even seen people that would threaten to hurt themselves just because they want to keep that emotional control of feeling like, well, like they said, isolate you away from others and just only have you for themselves, which is also a selfish trait as well. And it talks about that because it says it's a way to keep you close under their influence, making it harder for you to set boundaries or leave the relationship. The underlining message is that you can't abandon them because they depend solely on you, which can be heavy and unfair burden to bear, which is very, very true. The next phrase, I did it for your own good. And I've heard people, not me personally, but I've had people that went through this and been told that before. This is the classic manipulator speak. When someone uses this phrase, they're taking away your agency and justifying their controlling behavior. It's a way of saying that they know better than you do about what's best for you. This undermines your ability to make decisions and can make you doubt your own judgment. Manipulators do this to exert control and make you more dependent on them. Remember, healthy relationships are about support, not control. You have the right to make your own choices, and anyone who consistently insists they know better is manipulating you. Because you can always suggest an advice to someone, but you can't never force a person to take your advice. If a person comes to you and says like, "Oh, I need advice on this," or whatever the case may be, you can't just say, "Oh, yeah, you better listen to what I say," or you can't say, "Oh, I decided to do this to help you out with this. I did it for your own good." Like, you can't choose for people. A person has to choose and make their decisions on their own, and everyone has that right to do that. Another phrase they use, which I know is familiar to many, you're making a big deal out of nothing. This phrase is a go to for manipulators trying to belittle your feelings and concerns. It's a way of dismissing what you're feeling and experiencing by minimizing your concerns. They're not only invalidating your feelings, but also suggesting that your perception of reality is skewed. They're trying to gaslight you into thinking that your reactions are overblown and that you're the problem. Healthy communication involves taking your partner's concerns seriously, not trivializing them. And that's something we talked about a lot this week, how communication, a good part of communication is also considering each other's feelings, both sides, not just only you, or you only want your feelings validated. Both people's feelings need to be validated, and that's with a marriage or a friendship. The next phrase they use is "you're too needy." When someone calls you needy, they're manipulating you into feeling guilty for having normal relationship needs. This phrase is often used to make you feel like a burden and to justify their lack of commitment or emotional unavailability. So that's interesting because with lack of commitment, sometimes, and even with emotional unavailability, sometimes a person can be choosing to act like that, but there's also times where it may be a childhood reason behind why the person is hard to commit in a relationship or can't provide that emotional stability. Sometimes it's not always them doing it on purpose. Some these two traits I feel like personally are something that can be learned through childhood. If like kind of like what we talked about earlier this week. I think it was earlier this week where if your parents were emotionally unavailable, that tends to teach you and it makes it hard for you to be able to not only vent your feelings but be able to show that emotional part to the person you're with or a friend. So it's definitely something you work on as an individual, if you acknowledge that that's the issue you have. And the last phrase, that ain't the last, actually, there's two more. The next phrase, "you're so lucky I put up with you." Now, I've never experienced this phrase told to me in my life, but I have heard it told to others. This is a beautiful manipulation tactic designed to make you feel unworthy. The message is clear. You're so flawed that you should be grateful they're even sticking around. This is about breaking down your self esteem so you're more likely to tolerate their bad behavior. It's a way of making you feel like you don't deserve better treatment or a healthier relationship. Remember, everyone deserves to be treated with respect and kindness. If someone frequently tells you you are lucky they tolerate you, they're trying to keep you feeling grateful for the bare minimum. So basically, they lack your self confidence in yourself to where you feel like you have to take their treatment, because if you don't take how they treat you, then you're not going to have nobody else in your life. That's basically saying that they're the only one that'll put up with you. And that's never the case, especially when somebody's treating you badly and not treating you the way you want to be treated. You have a right to walk away from that friendship, or if you're in a relationship and you're not married yet. Now, I mean, if you're married and there's traits like this, there are things you can do like therapy, counseling to help recognize those things if your spouse is doing that. But yeah, but you never should settle if somebody's really hurting you, like, because emotional hurt can be just as damaging as physical. And the last phrase is, you're just like all the others, which I've never experienced that personally, but I have heard that said to others. This phrase is used to manipulate you by playing on your fear of being ordinary or not living up to their expectations. It's a form of gaslighting where they make you feel like you're not special. Just another in a line of disappointments. The goal is to make you work harder to prove yourself and stand out in their eyes. It's a way of keeping you on your toes, constantly seeking their approval. This tactic is damaging because it erodes your sense of self-worth and keeps you focused on pleasing them instead of addressing your own needs and values. So this tactic basically is a way to make you think like you're not good enough still. It's kind of close to the other one, except the difference between the last two phrases is that this one is to make you feel like, oh, I'm not standing out to him or her better than the people they dated prior, and it makes you continue to think like I have to get better and better. I mean, as individuals, we all have things that we try to work on doing better. Even after we get married, we still continue to work on ourselves. But that's totally different from somebody constantly acting like the efforts that you put within the relationship or as yourself as an individual, that it's not enough, or you just like that other person, and nobody likes to feel that way. So those are the 10 phrases I have when you know you're dealing with someone that's an emotional manipulator. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode today. I definitely enjoyed talking about this topic. I won't be posting tomorrow because, of course, Sundays I don't do lives or any videos for that matter. But I will be back Monday. And just a heads up, Monday through Thursday I will be doing lives, but Friday and Saturday I won't. So next week I'll actually, instead of doing Friday and Saturday, I will do Sunday. I will do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday next week, because Friday and Saturday I will be out of town, so I won't be here to do lives next week, Friday and Saturday. So thank you guys so much for listening to my content. Thank you for helping me continue to grow this channel. I enjoy pushing out this great content for you guys. Again, remember to like, share, subscribe, and also comment down below on the subjects that we talk about. And again, I hope you guys stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys Monday. Peace.